Nashville. What's the channel name? You go down to the church. He said, look here. If it's gone, you cannot come into my church. You will be turned away and made to go home. And shame that you put that vile, despicable, horrible, leftist mask on your face. He said on his Instagram page that he is not backing down from this. He is tired of leftist fear-mongering, which told me two things right off the bat. Number one, you voted for Donald Trump. Number two, you ain't a real pastor. Here's the thing. You are a person, yes. Therefore, you have a political idea of some sort. It does not belong in your pulpit. The purpose of a pastor versus a preacher. I'm a preacher, traveling teacher. I go teach. A pastor is to build a community of people who can build other communities. You have your deacons and your thises and your that's that can go out into all the world and preach the gospel. You are supposed to be leading these people as a pastor. You are the shepherd of the sheep. You are supposed to be leading these people on the straight and narrow to the glory and the righteousness of thy God. What you are not supposed to be doing is telling a person you can't come in here, period. If they are not causing harm, like actual harm, they're not trying to come in there with guns and knives and bombs and things, then there is no reason that you should tell them you can't come in here. I don't care if they stink of meth and have no clothes on. What you're supposed to do is put some clothes on the person and tell them to sit down and listen to this sermon, and we get you some help right afterwards. You are a pastor. You are supposed to be edifying the community with the word of God, not telling people who have a mask on you can't come in here. That is not what Jesus would do. Go forth and sin no more. He didn't say, don't come at me. I don't know you. So, I want to do two readings. One, what does God, Spirit, Jesus, Jehovah, think of such an action? I want to see. And then two, how will this work out for you in the long run? Because he said he is not backing down. He mean that thing. So I'm going to do the 10 cards for how's this working out in the long run. I'll pull 4 oracle for the spiritual message. I swear for Lord, I do. Okay, how is this going to work out for you? No, I'm going to do this first. Spiritual. What does God think of such a thing? This is not mask wearing. Republicans wear masks, homeboy. First of all, this is not a leftist. Anyway, Donald Trump wore a mask too. When he was trying to fool people, he had COVID anyway. Yep. Okay. So what is God? What is Spirit? What is Jesus? What is Jehovah? Yeshua? What does he think of such a thing? I said this before. I say this again. The analogy of the man who went to church Everybody was dressed to the nines. They had their well-to-dos on like they was going to meet the queen. In walks a man with a t-shirt and old jeans. They weren't dirty. They just old. Tennis shoes. He comes and he sits at the back. That way he can be, inconspicuous. Or conspicuous. Not to draw any attention to himself, but somebody looks, there he is, because he sticks out like a sore thumb, because as I said, everybody going to meet the queen today. So here you come with your Levi's and carrying on. So they go over to him and they bend down and said, I'm sorry, you don't belong in here. Because he did not look like the rest of them. And so he gets up and he walks out and he's, a little weepy-eyed because he just been rejected at the church. And it's all because I can't afford, queen clothes like you. He looks up. Well, God, why is this happening to me? I'm trying to partake in the church. God said, don't feel bad. They won't let me in either. That is what happened here. My way or the highway. Obsession, power, struggle, controlling, demanding, rigid. What was Jesus' commandment? Not the 10 commandments from the Old Testament. What was the commandment by Jesus? Love thy neighbor as Christ loved the church. The church is people. So love people like I loved people. That was his commandment. It's not rigid at all. But this is the problem. This here is the problem. This has nothing to do with God, church, your mask. This has everything to do with you trying to inject your personal belief in a place where it doesn't belong. You are to preach the gospel as it was given to you in that ancient book of random stories. Not come up with your own at the last minute. How will this work out for you in the end? This is nearly done. The world. It starts with the world, which means you're nearly done. You say you're not going to back down, but I bet you will. It's a fight coming. Church is a business. Do you know what changes the heart of all businesses? King of Swords. The moon. Justice. Mind you, this is Tennessee. But, like I said, what controls the heart of all businesses is the moolah. The Ace of Pentacles with the moon. There is going to be a fight over your ideas. Justice and the King of Swords. You think you are right. But the problem is you do not think you are right because of something you read in the Bible. This is a political standpoint. This does not belong in thy church. Eight of Wands. Page of Swords. Six of Wands. This is going to get way more attention than you can handle. Knight of Pentacles. You're going to slowly back away from this. And then come out with the redemption story, more than likely, that I don't want to hurt God's people and, all this bull crap. So this has nothing to do with leftist agenda. It's a mask.